and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tarani. Thank you for watching us. We are coming to you from San Jose, and on our program is Bradley Anstis, who is the VP of Technical Strategy at M86 Security. Hello, Bradley.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. I was hoping to start off by getting a brief overview of your company.
Okay. M86 Security, we concentrate on providing real-time security controls across the borderless enterprise. So for us, that means providing a variety of proactive security controls across all the different network segments that people need, primarily around email and web. So, and then also driving into the future for the cloud implementations that are coming.
So what's the difference between proactive and reactive?
Great question. So reactive controls are the historical controls that we've typically most organizations actually used in the past. So these are controls like AV, scanning based on signature-based technologies, URL filtering, of which part of our heritage is being the first URL filteringless vendor. But those sorts of reactive controls where you need to actually see a threat and analyze an attack before you could actually protect people against it. Those are reactive controls. What people need to be looking at today is moving towards more the proactive controls. Just the vast amount of malware, all the new attacks that are happening all the time, polymorphic viruses which change themselves all the time, dynamically created malware. This is all driving people to needing to get towards proactive security controls like real-time code analysis, like behavioral analysis, and some of the other technologies we have inside our products. So today, you've got to get the right balance between reactive and proactive.
So talk to me about polymorphic viruses. How do they manifest themselves in the real world? In other words, what do you have to look for to find one?
Nice, big, complicated word that we use all the time to make people think that we know what we're talking about. Polymorphic viruses are basically viruses that rebuild themselves or recompile themselves every 20 minutes or so. And they do that to break the actual signatures that the AV vendors are actually sending down. So to detect a polymorphic virus, it's quite easy to actually just place it under observation and wait to see if the actual code sample keeps on changing itself. And if it does, then clearly it's a polymorphic virus.
Okay, so it's relative. Okay, once you've placed it under observation, then you're in good shape. But if you're not scanning for it and looking for something that's changing, you'll never know that it's changing, right?
Well, yeah, correct, because you may be sending the signature down for what it used to look like, and what you're not looking for is what it looks like now. That's the problem. And that's where having the proactive security controls like real-time code analysis running in line with the actual content that people are actually accessing and browsing as they're actually doing it is just critical today. Being able to, we're not looking for the list of bad malware, we're looking for the actions of malware and what it's actually trying to do. That list is far, far shorter than the actual blacklist of known malware. So, that's really the secret behind the proactive controls.
What about phishing and spearfishing and those sorts of things?
So all the target attacks that people see or may not see and actually realize that, they've been subject to, those sorts of attacks are typically using dynamically created malware or unique malware samples for that particular case. And what's real concerning these days is these attacks are targeted towards specific individuals, executives inside organizations. If you look at the Google attacks as part of Operation Aurora, the people that are actually infected, the attackers actually researched their social network, worked out who they actually knew, spoofed messages through those social media sites, so they had a lower level of suspicion when they actually got those messages, visited some links, they're infected, attackers are now got inside. Now you're actually trying to defend against the attacker that's already inside your network. That's a really good reason why organizations need to be moving towards these proactive security controls and not just thinking about securing their perimeter.
So you're telling me with proactive security controls, the risk of getting hacked and infected would be reduced, right? Or you can never eliminate it, but it will be reduced.
I would love to give you the guarantee, but it's significantly reduced because we're not actually looking for the individual malware that people are using to attack. We're actually looking for what the malware is actually trying to do, and that list is fairly consistent.
Okay, so that's good news. Are there any surprises that you've seen? I mean, I know you've been with the company for a number of years, but the last couple of years, anything that have surprised you about either the industry or just what malicious users are doing?
It never fails to surprise me the stupidness of users, but I guess we see lots of examples of that. What I find quite surprising is not more organizations do some basic user training. You don't need to buy any technology. I mean, run some brown bag lunches and get people in and show them what a phishing attack looks like. Show them what social engineering attacks look like. Get them more suspicious when they're using the internet, and and as an organization also relook at those acceptable use policies. Make sure they support the internet that we have today, not what the internet was 5 years ago when that acceptable use policy was probably written.
That makes good sense.
Yeah. Well, today is very different than what it was 5 years ago.
So what's next for your company?
What's next? So we're certainly moving into areas around social media is a big focus for us at the moment. So enabling customers to be able to have more granular control over social media. So by that I mean, some employees inside the organisation might be able to just read Facebook but not do anything else.
Right.
Some people in the marketing department might be able to post, but only to the company profile.
Sure.
Others might be able to authorise new applications. Some people might not be able to authorise new applications. Sure. All those sorts of granular social media controls, I think, is certainly an area that we're working on at the moment.
Well, thanks for keeping the web a safer place for users, and thank you also for being on the program. It was very nice to meet you today.
All right. Thank you very much. Pleasure.